and then we'll talk. This is IMG Research Academy. In IMG Research Academy, we talk all things research. Today is open mic, where we're just going to talk about, how to succeed in this journey. So I was talking about myself, attempts, history of attempts, um, um, low score. There was a time I went into depression. I applied for over 8 times, like a lot of times. Imagine applying since 2013, and I marched in 2023. Yeah, March 2023. At the time, I'll use the word my friends left me, but that is not the correct word. I left my friend is the way to describe it, because in life, once people achieve a success level, they step up, and then you see yourself dragging, and then you think that they left you, right? Because at every level, there's a devil, right? So in their level, they're dealing with a new devil, like there are challenges in life, trying to get into residency or not trying to, do their residency assignment, their life, their family and stuff. And then they're so preoccupied. And then you are here thinking that, oh, he didn't communicate to me. And then that complex sets in, and then you stop communicating with them, and then the distance begin to grow. Let me use that as an excuse. I'm not talking about people who intentionally don't want to communicate to you, who become very sarcastic. Like, I don't know why, but I'm just telling you, there are different reasons why people stop have distance. And then I lost my job. I didn't have a job. I was doing Uber, and I was also doing valet parking somewhere in Miami while trying to study to write those exams. I remember someday because I used to play my what is Patoma videos when I'm driving my Uber, and I'll be playing the Patoma, and then I carried one guy, and the guy was listening. I was like, "Why are you listening to this stuff? You're an Uber guy." And I was like, "Yeah, I have exams to write." So then my only time is to just be playing it. So I played the audio while I was driving, and he turned out to be a program director. Eventually, he gave me an interview. I also had an experience someday in DC while I was doing that, and one lady said, "Wow, you're an Uber driver, you want to be a doctor. I wouldn't even allow you to touch me if you're a doctor." Like, why? I felt so bad. I said, because doctors are supposed not to drive Uber and all. Like, there was a way he profiled me, like it was just a terrible profile. I'm sure many of us must have come across that. Um, but somehow, I met a lot of great people who motivated me. I'll mention Dr. O, who motivated me greatly, Joseph, so many names, many people here, and my wife standing by my side. And, you know, Zoe, can mention names, like 1,000 names, even the colleagues that were preparing together. And we kept looking for, just like so many people are now looking for, where is it? Dr. Darko is calling me almost every now and then. Where can I find that? Where is it? And believe me, as long as that last statement that he said, the only thing that is stopping you, as long as you just keep searching, it may come through me, it may come through Dr. Sano, it may come through the other person. There was an experiment I was doing with Dr. Sano, how to knock on people's doors and then just keep knocking. And I'm sure she has a lot of testimony to talk about that, knocking on people's doors. Dr. Sano, I hope you don't mind. We're not going to talk about, but yeah, you see how one knocking on one person's door opens another and opens. So the universe is like the universe is so wide and aligns everything to your thoughts and makes them to happen. The last thing I want to say before I go into the main topic is it may not happen now, but it's going to happen. If it happens now, better. The title for today is 10 common mistakes that people make on application. And then it's an open mic. Stop me at any time. Ask your question at any time. Any question you want to ask regarding research, regarding whatever, regarding anything in life. And your family can attend, Dr. Balba. It's fine. I'm not saying anything illegal. Dr. Latunsky, welcome. Incomplete application or incorrect application is one of the most common mistakes. And I did that. I'll give you a typical example. If you're applying for psychiatry, we all know the common law that psychiatry requires a minimum of 3 psychiatry recommendation letters. And then we've been talking about this recommendation letter since February, March, when we started having all these meetings, even since last year, right? And then you're going in with hope and with faith that, oh, one program is going to consider me psychiatry, pediatrics, some specialties, surgery, some specialties like neurology. They are very, very firm on recommendation letter being from their specialty. A psychiatrist should sign off that your recommendation that he thinks that you'll be a good psychiatrist and then sends it. So those are like an example of incomplete application. And then if you're listening, if you've not heard this before, if you've heard this before, it's a reinforcement, but I'm surprised because the reason I'm saying is that I receive over like 50, 60 calls in a week. I'm not posting about it, I'm not kidding. And when you ask people, have you gotten the letter? The person will be like, no. Be like, this is like 30 days to application. Like, we've been talking about this since like 300 plus days. And I didn't know that I have to get 3 letters of recommendation from psychiatry. Yes, you have to. So 30 days is still enough for you to keep searching for people to get you letters if you can. So incomplete application, you are missing your MSPE. You don't have the complete number of letters. Let's say a program says they want 4 letters and then you put 2 letters. And the program says they want 3 letters and then you put 4 letters, right? Or you're missing your transcripts, or you're not done with your exams and then you're applying. Um, 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 or when you were assigning, right? You remember you have to assign documents. You assign letter of recommendation, you assign personal statement, you assign transcript, you assign MSPE, you assign the other thing that you want to assign, maybe your picture. And then you become too callous to do that. It's one of the major errors that people make during this application period. So take your time and have a checklist. And I tell people that are applying these days, it's so easy because ChatGPT has made things so easy. Like so easy. You can practically do program research with ChatGPT. I sit down here, there was one of our clients, because we have paid service, and I said, what program are you applying? He said he wants to go to an all-black program. I'm like, okay, ChatGPT, give me the list of all-black programs in New York. Boom. Like joke. And if you're here, you don't know how to use all these modern tools. It's like somebody living in 1960s and don't even know how to speak English, like, or I lack how to explain it. And it's not even a hidden thing. Like you can't think better than this AI. You just cannot do better. If you want to go to traditional, there's this controversy that, oh, yeah, he's using AI, he's lazy. Oh, come on, man. What are you talking about? Okay, why don't you plug off the electricity and use candle because you want to come out traditional? Or why don't use your car, walk to walk, trek, use your foot and walk to walk because you want to come out traditional. For me, I mean, the aspect of utilize it to improve your knowledge so much more in everything, including research, including program application. Now we're talking about program application, including just name it. They said programs are looking for how to make sure that people don't use their research. Okay, yeah, but people don't use AIs. Okay, fine. But you can use AIs and also personalize it and make it personal, right? You don't have to now copy and paste is the problem, right? Copy and paste. So some people are just so, sorry to use the word, I don't mean to refer to you guys, but some people are really, very, really, really dumb. Like, I experienced it while in university. I'm sure all of us have experienced it. The person is copying your own and the person copies your name and puts it there, So disease from it, utilize them for program research. I say you don't even need to pay anybody for program research. You can sit down and then utilize that stuff. In Chicago, in what programs have accepted the profile? It will pull up. It will pull it up. You'll just be shocked. What is the program director's name? What does he want? So intense program research. The second one is weak personal statements. For those who are privileged for them to see the application, right? And then they see your application, the program looks at your application. We have a personal statement series that we're going to walk through. We started the introduction. I've actually not really prepared enough. So that's why I've not given the second part of it. I need to prepare. Probably I'm going to do the second part of it next week. The week has been busy for me in my rotations. And then we're also bringing a guest speaker in September to talk about personal statement and interview. I guess we've already paid her for the program. So weak personal statement, I don't want to go into details about that, but we all know what is a weak personal statement, even though that they said that there's no ideal personal statement because personal statement varies by the mode of the mode and so many factors that affect how someone perceives what you're putting out, as a personal statement. The third thing I want to talk about is late application. Everybody here should submit. If you are a US graduate, you should submit before, I think it's 5th, right? 5th. That's the 5th of September. That's 30 days from now. If you are if you are a non-US graduate, which majority of us fall under, your application should fall in before 25th because on the 26th, some programs will begin to look at applications. Not that their program director is going to come up in the morning and just click on, 26, let's start looking. No. Some programs may take a week, some programs will take a month, some programs will take some days to look at it, right?
You said what?
These things, they come in emails, right? Once they click, the people that submitted, all the 5,000 emails are not going to stack up, are not going to be on the same line like this. They're going to stack up one after another, right? So the program on their end, once they download the list of people who apply to them, if you applied late and 4,000 people have applied before you, imagine them looking at 4,000 emails, stack of emails. If there's anything like that, I'm just using that before they get to you. That guy will be very, very tired. Probably that's why they use filters and they use other things, measures that they use. It's internal referrals and people who have rotated through them and people who they know. And you see us emphasizing on networking and connections so that you don't fall into this stack of 4,000 emails. I worked in a program before where, man, when the program coordinator opens it, like I worked with her sitting by her, even though I didn't match in that program. And then she opens the email and be like, oh, wow. Like she just gets very tired. Like, where do I even start from? Like, it'll just pile up like this, So apply on time. Don't be that person that is waiting to apply on 30th or 35th. This year's deadline is around 25th, I believe. So do that. Don't wait. If there's a test that you're trying to write, let's say people who are trying to write step 3 now, and you feel that is not really going to help you, rather than failing that test, my personal opinion is to hold off on that test, right? And it's rather than rushing to see how I'm going to write the test, so that the test comes out on the 30th, and then you're not ready, and then you fail the test, and then you get another additional red flag. Please just take a break. Step 3 will always come out. When it comes out, that will also give you an opportunity to write the program and update them. Hey, I've gotten my step 3. I'm now updating, updating, and I believe there's a way to also send your updated step 3 results to them, either through ERAS or not. I can't talk about the details of that. I don't know much about the details of that, but I think there's a way to do that. Fourth mistake that people make is lack of program research. Lack of program. We've been talking about this. Everybody have an Excel sheet. Everybody have an Excel sheet. I'm not applying to residency, but I have Excel sheets of different programs. I have Excel sheet of different programs. I've been working with over like 10 or 15 candidates so far, and wow, there's one of them that really amazed me. She's done 200. That girl is just pushing, like just pushing. Program research. Dr. Abbas, you should have a spreadsheet for your program research. I'm not kidding about it. You cannot, these programs, they cost like maybe $30, $10, $15, whatever the amount is. And you're applying to like 100. That's close to like 10,000 or 5,000, whatever the calculation, 3,000. If you're trying to gamble $3,000 and you don't even know where you're putting that $3,000, you are a joker. Just put it like that way. Just imagine I want to buy bread in the market or I want to buy fish and I don't even have an idea of what the fish is and I just walk into Walmart and I'm just picking. Come on, man, I'm a very wasteful person. I'm not even tactical. And many of us here are well-acclaimed physicians either in our homes, in our previous country, like Dr. Cosmos now, who has, really gone above and beyond to do a lot of things. It's not time to now, at this stage, we suddenly forget who we are, and then we'll begin to do mediocre things, and then just get one bunch of lists that somebody sent to me. I don't even know whether the programs take my score profile. I don't even know whether the programs, they take people that look like me, because these are the realities of time. There are programs who clearly do not take people that look like you, whether you come from India, whether you come from Russia, whether you come from wherever it is. It's the reality of the time that we live, and we just have to agree to that. And these programs, if you look at their antecedent, their history, they don't take people that look like you, period. There's a program that actually told one of our clients that, I know XYZ, but you work here and all this blah, 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 but, we don't take people that look like you, like straightforward. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Just a call came in from my family. Okay, so program research, and we've gone into the details of how to do program research. I can do a high-level overview. There's several ways: free, match a resident. I'm not advertising anybody. And then you can also do yourself. And then we added a third one, Google, right? Google, AIs, all the AIs, they can help you do a lot of program research. And then you pick one, zoom into detail. If you're doing if you do 5 every day, 5 every day, 5 every day, 5 every day, before 10 days, you should have done 50, right? Many people usually apply between 50 and 100, some people 200, depending on, there was a time I applied 300 programs, but I noticed that 300 program was a waste, because I just used one software that I paid, and I clicked on it, and then it generated one list, probably just generating the same list for everybody, right? I see your questions. I'll answer that, Dr. Blossom. So program research is very key. And if you want to do program research, start from where you are, start from your state, because the programs want to retain this train. Before, I didn't know this. The CMS pays, as a federal government, pays the sponsors residency program so that they can increase the health workforce in that place. So part of the things that count for these programs is that they are able to retain you. So if they have markers, that's why the programs are very big on, are you staying back? What is your 5-year goal? Those questions are tailored to see if they can keep this person back. Not that they are mandated to keep you back. But it gives them a thought process that, okay, we're going to add more workforce to our host community. Nobody wants to spend they're spending close to 200,000 on you. What Medicare pays programs per year is about 250,000, about that. I don't have the rate. And then they pay your salary of like 40,000 or 60,000, depending on, and then they use the other one for the program management, right? They don't want to spend 200 and something thousand training one person, and then at the end of the day, is wasted. The person goes back to Maryland, the person goes back to New Jersey, right? They want the person to stay. So that you see them emphasizing on, they take people who grew up there, who knows that area. So if you want to do program research, start from your home. If you don't have a home in the US, adopt a home. Very, very simple strategy. Adopt a home. I was reviewing somebody's application, and I saw his address was in Cameroon as his home address. I told the person, I know that your address is in Cameroon, which is truth, but I think you need to adopt an address in the US, because this is a US application, not a Cameroonian application, right? We've long moved away from Cameroon. This is a US application. You got to put your home in your resume as one of the states in this, and try and get an address, your friend's address or somebody's address that lives there. Because none of us is an orphan. There's someone that knows someone that knows someone, and adopt it as your home, right? Don't tell me your home is Saudi Arabia. Yeah, it's good to say I live in Saudi Arabia, but I have relatives in New York. I have friends in New York, you know, I have family and friends in New York, and that's like my second home. And there's no lies about it because you truly do have friends in New York, right? It's just you've not searched them out. Search them out and use it because that will also form a basis of how the program is going to look at you or look at your application. Oh, his home is in New York. And remember that, yeah, the program is going to micro details, but they really don't go into these micro details. Probably some very crazy programs too, right? And now begin to say, okay, tell me what street you live in New York. Like, who cares about what street? Where do you base? Well, I base in Saudi Arabia, but my second home is New York. That's it. Very simple, right? So program research, I don't want to overemphasize on it because I don't want to say too much. Another thing is an overemphasis on score. There are some people who are so relaxed because they had 254. I have seen 254 not match. Like, honest truths. First attempt, young year of graduation, no red flag, everything perfect. And then he just chills. I'm going to match. I have seen them not match. I'm not kidding, right? So over-reliance on score is not, it is a holistic application. Every little thing counts. Your conference presentation, people that went to conference this weekend in family medicine, I'm sure they made some content that really changed their life. If not all of them, some of them, right? Your personal statement counts. Your ability to add one or two research counts. Your ability to strengthen one or two areas. Your MSPE should be clean. Your MSPE should not be one letter. It should be clean, well written, well structured. The verbiage that you use in describing your roles and your function. I saw one role when I was reviewing some people's application. Just a disclaimer, we have a paid service for application review that everybody knows about. I'm not advertising, I'm just telling you. And the descriptions were just really very awful. Like, I won't even take that person honestly as a resident because everything was just clumped like this. I couldn't even differentiate what he did and what he did not do, right? And then in another place, it was just too many. We've talked about descriptions, well professionally worded description, perform patient care, this, and chronologize what you did. Usually about 5 job descriptions or 5 descriptions or 6 descriptions is enough. Don't load it with 10 descriptions, like who has, and then you're loading 10 job experiences with 10 descriptions. So you want the program director to just sit down here and just be reading 100 descriptions. So these are little mistakes I made. They are my personal opinion. It may not be all binding across all programs and across all persons, but like common sense tells all of us that listening to you. You don't even need to hear from me that reading a very lengthy paragraph or personal statement that goes beyond 1 page doesn't even make any sense, right? Come on, reading job description of like, what am I even, and everybody's writing the same job description, patient care, all of us that are applying. Like once I open all the resumes, they all sound alike, right? Because we're all in medicine after all our life. So if you've worked in a hospital, it's the same patient care that we're going to also present. It's just presenting in a very finely summarized, way to do your job description. So the point is overemphasis on score. I know people are brilliant, but don't overemphasize or don't rely on score. I've seen very awful interviews. People come to interviews. We'll talk about interviews last thing, and then talk about their score. It sounds like a joke, but people do it. There's so many things that you can use to boost out the interview or not score. It puts some people off. Really puts a lot of us off. I did interviews last year, or this year, or whatever. And be like, why is this guy even telling me about his scores? It doesn't even make any sense. Me, I scored 197. Okay. Are you trying to tell me that you're better than me? Are you a better physician than I am? That kind of stuff, right? Whatever. All right. Inconsistent and inadequate work experience description. We talked about it in your resume descriptions has to be sharp, straight to the point, and consistent, and also arrange it in order of chronology. Right? When I mean chronology, If it is clinical experience, you put your clinical experiences first before you talk about your quality improvement project that you did, right, in the place. Let's say you did quality improvement project or you volunteered to do something. So you went to externship and then you also did volunteership around there. Maybe you were serving in the kitchen in the hospital, right? Don't go and put volunteered as a emergency medicine hospital kitchen serving food breakfast, and then you put patient care as a last one. So put it in order of preferences, the things you do. If possible, be very descriptive. Utilize EHR. So utilize EHR is one thing. Utilize EHR in bracket, Epic, this. Put 3 or 4 at least EHRs that you've had experience with. Those EHRs, people emphasize on them a lot because that's what many hospitals use. They want to see proficiency. They don't want to start wasting time on you adapting to their EHRs. So consistent work experience description. It's so clear. If you've done residency before, don't shy away to put the residency. Now, if you put residency, you should put residency in this because it helps to guide the person that is listening to it, that is reading it. If the person doesn't have time to read those descriptions, the person can at least read, okay, he has already done residency in internal medicine or is currently doing residency, current resident in internal medicine. Right? Can you help us with a possible question I could ask regarding research publication? We'll get there. We'll talk about that. All right. And then another mistake that we make is unprofessional communication. Unprofessional communications is unprofessional communication. Sending too many emails. What is too many emails? 5, 10. Too frequent reminders. Right? You send one reminder today, you send one reminder tomorrow, you send one reminder next tomorrow. Come on, you got to piss off the person, right? Spellings and terminologies. Again, we come back to all these AIs. Many of the AI, even Google already has an AI that you could use to. Grammarly is there. Tunitin, not Tunitin, Grammarly and the rest. I'm not advertising anyone, nobody has paid me because I know this video might end up on YouTube. But there's so many of them that you could use to check your grammar, check your sentences, make your communications very short and straight to the point, and then send. Question or letter of recommendation. All right, when can one search or check for a certain position like general surgery requires 3 regions? So when can you search? When you go to every program, they have every program or most program, because the word every is not a good term, right? Because of statistics. Many programs have in their websites, you're going to see how to apply for residency. You click on it, you're gonna see the different requirements that they have. 5 years post-graduation, COMLES or USMLE 1, 2, and 3 is required. And then you're going to see 3 letters of recommendation is required. It's mostly written there. If you don't see specific letter of recommendation, then we'll presume it's 3 letters of recommendation. That's what we usually do. If it's not specified there, then the presumption is 3 letters of recommendation. I've seen some programs require 4 letters of recommendation. Can you help us with possible questions we could be asked regarding research publication? Possible question that we could be asked regarding research publication. We have a month dedicated to defending your research, usually the September, October months, right? Where we are done with all these applications and then everybody's sitting and chilling and waiting for interviews. We now start talking about interview, how to defend your recommendation, and that's the next phase. So, we take these whole things by phases. From October last year, from March, when people did not match last year, so now we intensified all our research efforts. We brought out our research targets and how many papers we're going to publish, and then we are almost hitting it. We're hitting like 80% of that target. And then close to the application, we are reducing our research focus, and then we're focusing on how you're going to get in. Because if we talk all things research and then you don't get into residency application, then I've not really done you any good, right? Or the academy has not really done you any good. Then September, we'll now settle down, begin to talk about how to, defend our applications in detail. For those who put in a lot of things, we say, okay, how are we going to talk about this? How do you sell yourself? Right. And then we've already had 1 or 2 speakers lined up that will probably, give us external speakers, not just me, because I hate listening to my voice sometimes when I'm playing the videos. That was a joke. I enjoy myself talking. Lou, you have any recommendation for individuals or services that can assist reviewing personal statement? So yes, I'll talk about our ING Research Academy. We have gold, bronze, and the intermediate um, um, resume application review system with different costs. Because this video is going to go on YouTube, I wouldn't want to talk about the costing. You can chat me up behind the scene and then we'll talk about it. I usually don't talk about it because I try to maintain the aim of these classes is to come together and talk about something meaningful. So that's why I don't advertise it or I don't talk about it. In fact, someone pushed me to make the post yesterday. I never did. I never wanted to throw this whole season, but it's a known fact that we have a paid component of our operations in ING Research Academy, and then we have a non-paid component. In the non-paid component, we do like this, pure undiluted, give facts like this. The paid component of our operations, we individualize like one-on-one individualizations. So I hope I've answered that. Moving to other mistakes that people make in their application. Ignoring or misunderstanding application instruction is one of them, is another one. For example, program doesn't want you to contact them. They write it on their website, don't contact us, and then you send them an email. That means you misunderstood the instruction, clearly. Program wants, these are very common ones that we see. The program wants 5 years of graduation, and then you send in your application. Some programs do eventually may take you, right? That's a very big gamble, but majority of them may not even open your application. Right? So this is a time that we usually use to do that. That's why we intensify program research. And this is the time that you send those questions to the program. I saw on your website that you specify 5 year graduation. My profile is this. Is there any probability that you may consider such a profile? Right? And they will respond to you. Remember that the applicants, it may take a while, but they will respond to you. Some of them do. The ones that don't do, I don't know why, maybe they're overwhelmed or whatever, but at least play your part, right? And so when they respond to you, sure, send your application, we're going to look at it, and then you send it in, right? But if you don't do program research, you're not going to see those programs that have, and there's so thousands of programs that don't have year of graduation cutoff or score cutoff, but there's some programs that have score cutoff, they're not going to take anything less than 220, and they're not going to take anything less than 220, no matter what. So ignoring or misunderstanding application instructions that are written clearly on every website. If you don't see it on every website, you can also send them an email or give them a call. Give them a call, send them an email, because there's open communication now with any program. The communication with the program ends when the application begins to review. That's the rule of ERAS, except it has changed. I may not be ultimately correct, right? But I believe it is during that time that they're reviewing applications that they say don't communicate with the program or something like that. One of those things. One of those times. I'm not too sure. I'll check it out, but somebody can research it and find out. But it's written on ERAS, the communication timeline and non-communication timeline between programs and non-programs. While I'm talking, somebody can just look at it and give us the exact fact. And then another mistake is neglecting customized application. Neglecting customized application is a very big mistake that we make during application. Sending 50 letters of recommendation. If you're sending 50 personal statements to 50 program, it's good. Somebody will say, what time do I have? This is a time that you have to do that. And the thing that you even change in the letters are not even much, because the letters are almost the same thing. Like we all know that the letters are the same thing, right? Almost the same thing. I'm a good student. I did this, and that. But what now changes it is my interest in internal medicine program, specifying the name. Just one line that you're just going to adjust becomes the big deal, right? And that's what we have to. I say, watch that video. You see how laziness has really made some people, lower some people's opportunities to maximize the profit in this application. Imagine you sending a letter to me or communicating to me and say, hey, Edwards, It personalizes it. If you see how I communicate to many of you, I try to mention your name. We all know these principles because we're all physicians, right? If you call a patient's name, you get dearer to the patient. Hey, Dr. John. Hey, Mr. John, how are you? Before you walk into a patient's room, at least you look up his name. Say, hey, Mr. John, my name is Dr. Okobi. How may I help you today? Or what brings you here today? Or I see that you're here for your follow-up on your knee pain. So Mr. John feels appreciated, kind of that my doctor knows my name, right? But if you come in and then you're sending an application, so I'm using that to mirror in the application. You send an application, I'm interested in your internal medicine program, and then I'll bring in my core values, my blah, 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 my experience into your internal medicine program. Like, it sounds very generic, like you're writing to everybody, right? But if you take all your time and begin to preset these things, I have an excellent applicant that she's already preset her everything. Like, she's waiting for March 5th to just begin to click. Took at her time all the her top 50 program, and I'm very confident. I told her, I'll bet $1,000 with you, you're going to match, because she's like way ahead of me. I'm the consultant, but she's like way ahead of me. Once we're doing our meeting, she's already done all her personal statements for the 50 programs. I'm like, oh wow. The same body of letter, but those little subtle places that make the program unique. She just changed one or two. I see that your program is focused on your program's location and underserved community. You mentioned in there, I'm interested in your blah, 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 blah. Something about those unique things about the program. If they read the application, they'll be like, oh, wow, she even knows Dr. Goodluck. Well, that's great. Maybe. Who knows what helps people in this whole thing? Nobody knows. We're just trying to optimize the things, that probably going to help us. So neglecting to customize application is a big deal. Customizing application also includes letter writings, right? There are some people who know that they have the highest chance to match into this program right now, as we're sitting in this forum. There are some people who have their topmost 3 programs where somebody has probably promised to put in, words of recommendation, or put in high words, or talk to the program or program leadership on their behalf, people that they met in conferences that have promised to, review the application. If you're writing a letter of recommendation plus your personal statement, I think you should tell the person that is writing your letter of recommendation, please, do you mind, mentioning 1 or 2 things about this program that I'm going to go to? They can add 2 words, or 1 or 2 sentences about that program, which is your topmost program. And then you can tell the person, do you mind duplicating this letter of recommendation to be 2? 1 is for this program and the other one is for general. And don't forget, when you're requesting for letter of recommendation, if you can, please request for a hard copy, at least see what they're writing, right? That's what we usually preach. Not only see, it's going to help you post-match season when you begin to gather your letter of recommendations, and then you begin to do individual post-match applications, like those things, the cycles, outside post-match for those who are not going to match, right? So failure to customize your letter, your applications is one big mistake I made terribly. And I met a program director, Prince George's County, now it's University of Maryland, a program coordinator. She was one of the nicest ladies I've ever seen. And then she sat me down like this. Many of these things I'm saying, I learned it from these people in the leadership position. She said, when you were applying to our program, did you by any chance, you live in Maryland? I said, yeah. Did you by any chance mention that you live in Maryland? I said, no. Did you mention our program in your application? I said, no. Where would I mention? Then I didn't even have a clue. Just like many of us, you're just so eager, you're angry, eager, tensed, worried, anxious, and then we're just throwing in everything to the cart, right? At least you would have just mentioned something that Prince County is one of your top choices because it's just by your neighborhood, serving the community that you live in, and you hope to continue serving with them. Oh, wow. I was like, oh, wow. Amazing thought process. Never even thought of that. And really, and it happens to all of us, right? So hard work, and it's going to pay. Hard work. Start today. Start doing this. And lastly, before we leave, we have 4 minutes to answer the question, and then we're going to end abruptly. Failure to follow up. We talked about letters of interest, sending letter of interest, and then sending timely follow-up. Those letters, not only letters of interest, the people who have promised you to speak to their program on their behalf, following up with them, the programs that the people that God has brought your way or the universe has brought your way, depending on the religion you do. I'm a Christian, so I talk about God a lot of the Holy Spirit. Sometimes somebody brought somebody your way that will say, I'm going to talk, and then you don't follow up with the person because you feel it's going to be too unprofessional, like I said in the first time, to keep checking on the person, right? So just find that fine balance between when you're going to check on the person and then when you're not going to check on them. But just always remember to follow up with the person. One important note that I'd say, I didn't see this when I was down there. I will not say down there when I was on the other side. I will not say the other side when I did not match, right? Everybody's running their race. Everybody's running their race. I've said this over and over again. If you don't follow up with the person and then you get frustrated at the other back of the end that the person is not following up or the person is not responding, I think there's a problem. So when I got to where I am as a resident, and sometimes I don't even have time. If you notice how these meetings, our Fego will reach out to me to say, hey, who's going to have meeting? And then we are scheduled like 5 or 6 people, and they all called up. This person is on call, this person is on call. We are all physicians here. We know how busy it is, and truly, truly, it is. Sometimes you just don't even want to talk to anybody when you get home. You just want to sleep, right? But follow-up is very crucial, very, very crucial in everything. And people have gotten interviewed just by mere sending letters. We needed someone to go to ERAS and find out when the communication should stop, or before the communication stops, you're free to send letters. Some programs run on letters. Make sure that those programs are not the programs that you send letters. And then lastly, understanding the role of interview. Understanding the role of interview is very, very critical. We're going to talk about interview in September. We're going to talk about it so big. Your setting, your affect, the way you come out. Hey, Dr. Abbas, how are you? I'm good. Your eye contact, your tone, your demeanor, your personality, the way you shape your hair, everything. Like I say again, we're all physicians. We know what the eyes can convince someone about you. Your smile. I was telling someone, this thing is about acting, really. Me, I don't smile when I talk to people. But I notice that when I open my teeth like this, I look like I'm smiling. So my teeth is like this, right? But I'm actually not smiling, but I've noticed that it looks like as if I'm smiling. So when I'm talking to people, I'm just like this. Deep inside of me, I'm not happy, but I need to keep my face like this so that I can look happy, right? So it sounds like ass leaking, but yes, leak. I would not say leak that ass, but we get what I'm saying. We all get what I'm saying. Find that thing that makes you likable and just do it. Head contact, shoulder up, your tone, your affects, and what you're saying should, okay. tell me about yourself. And Adako, sorry, I'm using you as an example. I don't mean to use you as an example, but you get what I mean. Like, okay, let me not use Adako because Adako is very dear to me. Let me use somebody else. Adako, let me use you now. Permit me to use it.
No problem.
Okay, Adako, I went to school in Ibinelia University in Saudi Arabia. You're not even coming out confident, first of all. You're not even excited about who you are. Hey, Dr. John, how are you? I'm Adako. I'm excited to be here. Nice to meet you. I don't mean everybody should be charismatic like Edward. I'm a very charismatic person if you met me in person. But everybody cannot be me, but at least it's a movie. You just 10 minutes and the interview is done. And then you want to return back to that your solemn person. Please do. Find that fine balance between excitement, knowledge, coming out sharp, diplomacy test. Yes, absolutely. It's a movie. You see how you watch all these movies and you get very excited, and then that movie sounds like it's real. That's how we are all going to be this period. You got to sound like you're real. You're talking about the research that you did. You're talking about the job that you did. You're talking about your externship. It has to just come out fine. But we'll talk about interviews and interview preparation in detail. Again, we have a program that offers one-on-one. I don't mean to advertise it, but almost the same thing we're going to do in the one-on-one, we're going to do in group. The only difference is that in the one-on-one, we're doing like one-on-one. We have dedicated counselors to you, and then the group we'll just talk about group. So I remember one of my interviews in Bronx. I was so nervous. I was so nervous. I felt so inferior. That was the right word. Entering that room, I felt judged. I felt looked down upon. So I couldn't even project who I was. I was telling my wife, I can't even remember what I was saying. Like, I could remember one question that they asked me about EMR. So how long do you think it's going to take you to adjust um, uh, understanding EMR and the system? And I said maybe couple of weeks, couple of months, but yeah, yeah, yeah. I wasn't convincing to myself. Very sweet answer to adjust almost immediately. I'm very good at adjusting to things. Like I'm great at understanding systems. I'm great at picking up things and going. That's the response. That's the answer. Period. Sorry, I'm clapping, but that's it. Right. Well, and so many other scenarios that we're going to talk about. So the role of interview, one adage says that not adage, one common thing that we know that when they give you an interview, they've already looked past every other thing. Like that's the common saying that they're now looking to get to know you, see whether you're going to be part of the 24 people, part of the 10 people that will fit into the program. And an interview, I will overemphasize it or not overemphasize whatever term. You have to do your basic research. Like you're going to talk to me, you try to find out what I like, what I don't like. You have to find out our meeting point. Like you gotta do like investigation. Why do you think that the American system, they are so good? They may take out years studying you just to figure out how to get you, right? It's the same thing that you're going to do, the same thing I want everyone to do. When you want to walk into a room, whether it's a pre-residency interview or a during residency interview, post-residency interview, anybody that you want to talk to within this period, anybody that has an opportunity to have a conversation with you, program director, assistant program director, whoever the person is, resident, no resident, make sure that you research on that person. Make sure you do your research on that person. Ask ChatGPT, put his name there, put my name on Google, Okobi Edwards, okay, no Edwards. It's going to tell you a lot of things. If you don't even know, start from there. Say, ChatGPT, tell me about this famous Okobi Edwards. Okay, and he's going to tell you something. At least he's going to give you a clue. Go to LinkedIn, look for my profile. Go to Facebook, look for me, although we don't have Facebooks anymore because our programs, sometimes they kind of, our HRs, they are hunting on us. We don't like to post a lot of things. So kind of block all of them. And so we can have our private life. I'm saying this, I respect my HR, I love them. I hope I will cut off this part from the video when I'm posting it anyway, but it's okay even if I don't cut it out. All right. So I think that's the final things. There are so many other things I want to talk about, but we've hit our time. Let me even see the common mistakes that we make today. We went over 11 that we make when applying. And I hope, people may have known this thing a lot, and I hope one or two people learned one or two things. One of the doctors I asked for letter of recommendation told me to write it myself, and he will sign after. How do I write a letter of recommendation? So for those who can write a letter of recommendation, write it yourself. For those who cannot write, again, we have a service that provides that. It's paid service. And then I don't not hesitate to say this because it's all the AIs can write letter recommendations for you. I mean, it's a wide known knowledge. AIs can write letter recommendation for you. So there's nothing even hidden about it, right? Just make sure that you personalize it and become personal about it. So you don't come out sounding like the machine and the AI that actually wrote it for you. The last question the person asked was the minimum number of papers I should have if I'm applying to surgery. So there was a video that we had. Here. I don't know who was in the meeting where we shared last year applicants that matched the number of papers that they had and the number of conferences. So that I don't bore answering that question. I don't remember the specifics, but look for that video. Most of our videos are on the video link. There was a video that we had that, I talked about, I show using statistics so that we don't just, Abbas, I don't know if you can remember that meeting. We've had that video here. We had a meeting where we shared last year's statistics on the score profile and the number of applications, the number of IMGs, the number of papers that they published, and the rest. I don't have the numbers in head. I'll try and look for the video and share again if I can, but don't rely on me. Look for that video. It's either on my YouTube channel or you're going to see it on IMG Research Academy. If it's not, I'm going to find it and also post there. Thank you, everyone. Once again, it's open mic time. Just feel free, open your mic. I'll probably be here for the next 2 minutes and just say anything you want to say. Whatever you want to vent on anybody, just vent on anybody. Next week, I promise to do the second part of the letter of recommendation, not letter of the personal statement as the body of the personal statement, because last 2 weeks we did the introductory part. Next 2 weeks, we're going to do the body of it. I'm free at that weekend. I won't be on call, and we'll go from there. Is there any subgroup available I could join regards research publication? Yes, there are lots of subgroups that you can join regarding research publication, but if you see the timetable that I rolled out from October to like right now, we're kind of tapering down on, we did a lot of research, a lot of subgroups, and this is October. The reality of things is that if you start any research now, even if it's case report, the shortest time it takes to write these things, realistically, except you're just dedicated like me, takes about maybe 2-3 weeks to do, right? And then you're going to publish, and then you're going to, and then we talked about how you can, if you start a project, you can also put it in your application that you started the project even though you didn't complete. But don't just load the application with, I started this project, unpublished, and there's something wrong. At least 1 or 2 should be published, or 3 or 4 should be published, or depending on the number. Any research available to join lifetime education? Yes, there's a lot of them. But like I said again, our research section is coming to a conclusion between this time, so we can focus on applications. Once applications get in, we'll start a new research cycle again from October. That's how our research cycle continues. And then we'll do those longitudinal researches that we do. Right now, we're just trying to publish all the ones that we've submitted. We've submitted well over 150 papers throughout the year. And we're trying to see how all of them can come out, if possible. Thank you, guys. Everyone, Dr. Sano, thank you for listening. Any question? If there's no question, we'll see you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Natalie, please, I sent you a message, but I'll just say it. Please, I need help, like filling in the research I've done on my ERAS application. I started filling that part this evening, and it's just driving me crazy. I don't even know what to do. I watched the video though, but I'm still lost.
Let me conclude, and then we can stop the recording. Thank you once again. This is IMG Research Academy. We kind of meet to see how we can help ourselves grow in terms of research, in terms of writing, in terms of getting into residency. We do this every Sunday. We talk all things research. My name is Dr. Kobe Edwards. I'm one of the pioneers of the group. We're looking forward to a good process, and hopefully someday the world is going to hear about us in a positive way. Take care. I'll stop the recording.